was like, get out my house. Risky business just picking a paint without trying a sample, but ooh. Yeah, some of you are like, I don't know. You're getting ready to type in the comments. Not gonna lie, all I want to do is snuggle up with Mr. Bon. Oh, to be a house cat. I always say, oh, to be a cat, but you want to be like an adored cat where you can just sleep in peace. Well, until I am resisting the urge to cuddle, but I will leave Bon in peace. I am going to repair. Oh, apologies. I'm going to repair and wallpaper. This you would have seen in the last video. Now I was looking at this last night and I do have some awkward, so I'm replacing the wallpaper that was damaged, and like this is all fine, but there is like a, let me see the detail. We go in. So this is going to be a challenging one to wallpaper. Oh, there's a bit of wallpaper paste. So yeah, I'm going to get this looking lovely. I have a little head cold today. If I sound a little bit sniffly, I think too much fun was had last week at Bingo Loco because myself and Greta both got like head colds. So we obviously picked it up when we had our day out in Dublin. And what is it to say? Don't shed a clout until May is out. So spring sniffles are the worst because I feel like whenever I get a cold in spring, it's like it's always milder than like the winter ones, but they still make you miserable. But anyway, wallpaper chats. I was saying in a previous video that I'd ordered a wallpaper. Ooh, I love this. And it had arrived at the same time that the wallpaper on the fireplace got damaged. And I was like, ooh, maybe time for a wallpaper change. But I was saying that I still loved, I don't know what I'm pointing at. You'll see the wallpaper for there in a minute. I still love the Laura Ashley wallpaper that was in the living room, and it picks up on the green accents and the paintings, and basically I kind of have the room revolving around that piece of wallpaper because I love it and I still love it. So I got one roll, and thank you to the people in the comment section who said that Woody's has the wallpaper because they actually had it, and they must be doing like not third party selling, but I ordered one roll of the wallpaper to replace it there, but it came from like Graham and Brown or something, I don't know. But this wallpaper, I love this. I have for another project in the other room over there that I'm hoping to get some paint done as well in this video. So this wallpaper, I love wallpaper. I said in previous videos, if I could wallpaper the ceiling, I would. I love it. And I had a minor altercation with the chimney guy who said wallpaper is dated. And I was like, you're lucky. You're a good tradesman and you've been sound up to this point. Wallpaper, each to their own, my friend. Because I was saying about my wallpaper there. He's like, just paint it. And I was like, get out my house. No, I joke. So this I have, like this would have been lovely in the sitting room, but it's a bit, apologies my microphone, it's a bit on the peachy tone. So when you look at it, yeah, it's a bit on the more peachy tone to the paint here. So this is going in the room over there. I hope I have enough. I think I will. So that's little update there. I decided to just get one roll to replace this. You would have seen in the last video that I stripped this, kept the two side panels, and I'm hoping that the one roll can fix and it's not going to look like I am matching it. Ideally when you're buying wallpaper, there would be batch numbers on them and you would check the batch numbers off each other to make sure that they're all from the same batch so that you're not going to have variations in colour. I wasn't able to do that, so I'm hoping that any variations in colour will be subtle. But I am just doing the front piece, which you're going to see. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is I blew out some of the plaster when I was using the steamer. So I'm going to fill that in, let it set, have a cup of tea, and then get a panel up. And finally, oh, I also have another person in the comment section said, why not see if you can get a fender for the fireplace heart, and it might make the floor transition look a bit fancy. I'm after getting a kind of cheap metal one off Amazon. I don't know if it's... See, a lot of the vintage ones, they are just slightly too narrow. So I think this would be a nice temporary. And then if I come across an old antique one, I can use that, but once it fits the width. So my width, I think, is 150 centimeters. And a lot of the antique ones are like 130. So yeah, I will show you this as well. So I am going to stop talking, get me ladder and get me filler. So last week when I was using the wallpaper steamer, something that can happen is it can, well, if you put it on the plaster too long, it can blow it out, especially if there's been any little small cracks. Now, thankfully, the chimney itself is totally fine. It was literally just a few patches of plaster. So something to be aware of if you are new to using a wallpaper steamer. What I'm going to do is I'm going to flick off all of the loose parts so that I get all of them off, and then I am going to fill this in and then let it dry. Now, I have seen pictures of people in older houses, much older than mine, where people have literally wallpapered over cracks, and I probably could have gotten away with that, but because the wallpaper that I'm putting up has like a creamy undertone to it, this, you would just see it. So I'm going to do a proper job, and I'm going to fill this and then clean the wall, and it's going to be nice and smooth for me to then hang the wallpaper. For anybody who's new, or if you've missed the previous video, the fireplace surround was changed. That's a whole other drama, but anyway. And when the new fireplace surround went on, there was gaps either side. And there wasn't massive damage to the old wallpaper, but the two sides, you could see all the joins of the new fireplace. So I decided to remove the old wallpaper and then get one roll and then replace the front. So it takes 2 rolls to wallpaper this chimney. Well, it's 1 roll and then a drop from the second. But I decided to be a bit frugal and I took off the front panels and I left the remaining panels on the wall. So basically I was being a bit cheap, but listen, I'd already spent a fortune on my mistake with the fire. So that is why I'm going to be replacing those 3 panels. And if you are wallpapering a chimney from the beginning, you would start at the centre and work your way out. So you would make a plumb line for the first piece, and then you would position that and then work from the centre out. So I am doing this slightly backwards today because I'm just replacing the panels that are already here. So there's already the markings on the wall from the previous drops of wallpaper. But if I was doing this from the beginning, I would stick the first piece up in the centre and then work my way outwards. I'm pasting the wall first because the wallpaper that I'm using, and actually most wallpaper today, is paste the wall. So if you are maybe new to wallpaper, or if you're like me and you remember wallpaper as a kid and there was the big wallpaper table. So you had that wallpaper table and you had to paste the back of the wallpaper, and then you had to like hang it and it would kind of get stuck and everything. Well, a lot of wallpaper nowadays is paste the wall. And I do think it's easier. So I will line it up, leave myself some excess on the top and the bottom so that I can fold it over and get a nice perfect line. I use a nice sharp scissors to cut the paper. Personally, I find unless you have a really sharp X-Acto knife, if you use a blade, when the wallpaper is moist on the back from the glue, I find that if you use a blade to try and cut it, it kind of bunches a bit. I don't know if that makes sense. If you have a really sharp X-Acto knife, you will get a clean cut. but I personally prefer using a nice sharp scissors when it comes to cutting the paper. And when it comes to doing these awkward sides, the only way I can describe it is when you are wrapping a present and you cut in corners so that you can fold it in. That is the only way I kind of can describe what I'm doing. So if you are trying to get it around an awkward corner, I am using my finger to mark a bit of a plumb line for where I need to cut. I'm folding it in, and whenever I have some awkward corners that I need to kind of cut and it's fiddly, I will just cut a corner to make it easier to fold around. I don't know if that makes sense, but hopefully by just watching what I'm doing on screen, you'll be able to see what I'm doing. Ask me why. I left the scissors up there and moved the ladder. I would love to know if you are a fan of wallpaper, because I know some people are like, oh no, I hate it, I hate doing it. Or you love wallpaper, you just hate hanging it. It is one of the kind of messy jobs. I don't mind it, but I think it's because I love wallpaper. I love adding pattern, and I would change the wallpaper as often as I change my underwear if I could afford to. So yeah. Do you have any fun wallpapering projects that you're doing at the minute? Or are you not a fan? Let me know in the comment section. So on camera, that fender that I got, it doesn't look too offensive. Now in real life, the fender is like metal, feels a bit cheapy. Like, it looks okay. It does give it a little bit of something, a bit of detail, but it's like, it's just metal. Kind of feels a bit, I don't know how to describe it. It just doesn't feel fancy, but listen, it looks okay. I think what I'll do is I'll keep an eye out for a fancy one in the old antique shops. But the fireplace wallpaper, I know it's like only a small kind of thing, but sometimes those small things, like had I tried to patch it up, I'm glad I just took the front off and repapered it, because now the sides are grand. It seems like a lot of effort for that job. Now, I used to have this tiny little house thing that sat there, but this area here gets quite warm when the stove is on compared to when it was an open fire. I'm also just waiting for the wallpaper to dry a little bit more before I actually stick this to the wall itself. So I think what I'm going to do is, for the minute, I'm just going to put the brass candlesticks either side, because either side it doesn't get too hot. But when the stove is on and it's fired up, just all here gets quite warm. So I'm going to keep that free of my knickknacks. So yeah. Okay, the fireplace is back. And I've just kept it minimally styled, just a few candles either side. If you followed me last year, you will have seen that, well actually for the past couple of years, I used to love doing like flower displays on the fireplace. But, well, I suppose I could do a lavender one this year once that I don't like the fire, but the heat from the stove is way hotter than the open fire was. There's more like radiant heat with the fireplace around because it's marble, and then even the fire chimney feels warmer, whereas I didn't have that before with the open fire. So I won't be able to do my well, I'll have to tweak it. Oh, sorry. I usually do have my phone on silent, but you know when you're waiting for a phone call, so my phone is always on silent, usually on do not disturb, but I'm waiting for a phone call, so I had to take it off do not disturb. Yeah, I can't do the big swags that I used to love doing because it gets too hot. Maybe in summer, when obviously the fire won't be lit much in summer. Well, it's Ireland. You still get chilly days in summer in Ireland. So yeah, I have it minimal for the minute, but in my head I was like, I could do little potted plants of bulbs either side, or I could do something, but I just wanted to get that wallpaper done. So that is, yeah, for anyone who is new, that was a bit of a saga. Changed the floor, cracked the fire heart, uncovered a fire damaged floor. A whole old fireplace had to come out because it wasn't sound. Couldn't be salvaged, it was damaged. Then there was a gas pipe found that was live, and it's fine now. So if you are in the middle of a bit of spell of bad luck, my friends, it will come to the end. The only way is up. Touch wood. Touch wood. So yeah, next job. Remember in the video I was saying about I have to do a budget, no reno makeover on the downstairs bathroom. It was a few videos back. You would have seen it. Now, I was waiting on a flooring to arrive. I had to chase up the company. It took them like 3 weeks to deliver. It's behind me. I'll give you a sneak peek because I am going to try and colour match the floor for some paint. And I'm hoping it's going to match that not match, but be a nice contrast for that wallpaper. So, I remember last year, it was early last year, I was doing some jobs in Nanny Siobhan's, and I got a piece of lino. So I wallpapered and panelled her downstairs tiny bathroom, so just like an understairs bathroom. And I don't like peel and stick tiles. And it's just because Like Siobhan had used a couple of them in their home. I saw how they lasted and how they didn't last and the removal of them, and I just don't like peel and stick tiles. However, I still wanted, you know, to do something to the floor in my own bathroom as my Reno makeover. So I'm after getting this strip of lino. Well, lino, vinyl. Right, let me, hang on now. So I'm after getting this terracotta hexagon, apologies for the noise. So, terracotta hexagon floor. And it's that, yeah, it's like vinyl, isn't it? Lino, vinyl, and no grout lines, because you know me and the grout lines. So for the price of a bunch of peel and stick tiles out of Woodies or B&Q, I got this piece of lino. So here's my plan. I won't get to do it today, I'll do it in the morning. I'll go to the paint shop, and the paint shop I go to, they have these machines that they can colour match anything. Now I don't know if the colour match is going to be, I don't know. But here's what I'm thinking. This is going to be on the floor. I'm going to paint up the wall. Stay with me. Trust the vision. I'm going to paint halfway up the wall in this colour, and then I'm going to paper the top. Yeah? Yeah? Some of you are like, I don't know. You're getting ready to type in the comments. Trust me. I think it's going to work. In my head, sometimes obviously things don't plan out in your head, but this is a lovely contrast. So basically the flooring in the hallway into the downstairs bathroom, these colours are a nice contrast. And it's also like, not that it's a temporary thing, but until I can save up more money to do the downstairs bathroom, and until things calm down in the world where I feel safe to spend money, this will be my solution. So it's a medium term solution, but this, so anyway, Siobhan, I got her an offcut of this, but in a different, it was like a herringbone. She's had that in her downstairs ensuite and she's had no problems with it. So no issues that she had when it came to the peel and stick tiles. She's had none of them issues with this. And she's like, that is grand. Love it. People think it's wood when they come in. So I'm going to do that because I know that this stuff lasts longer than painting tiles and peel and stick tiles. And it'll tide me over until I can do Reno in there, which I honestly don't know when I can do that. But the only downside to this piece was I had to buy 2 by 3 meters, so I'm gonna have leftover. So when I finish it, if I have any left over, I might even post it on Instagram if anyone wants to use it, because I don't have anywhere in the house that I could use it. Like, I could probably put it in the shed, maybe on the floor, but to be honest, when you put things like this outside in the greenhouse or the shed, you get like mold and mildew and all that. So yeah, I will be laying this in the bathroom video, and if I do have leftover and it's a decent size, I'll put it up for free on Instagram. So yeah, that is it. I'm going to cut a corner off, bring it to the paint shop and see if they can match it. And hopefully they can. So yeah, trust my vision. Okay, I have been to the paint shop. I just picked a colour that was a nice contrast to the floor to try and colour match it, but I'll show you because I don't know. I'll just show it to you. I don't know if trusting the process will work. Okay, this is the colour. So this is the floor. I just cut off a square. This is the colour I picked now. Obviously, this has just been freshly mixed, but I do need to give it a little stir. Risky business just picking a paint without trying a sample, but that was the mood I was in. So the plan is this on the, like, half the wall, this on the bottom half, and this as the floor. So I don't know. Like, we have like lovely peach undertones. I think this could work. Now, when I was in the paint shop, the floor, I had to be careful because some of the paint colours, I wanted to stay on the peachy warm because some of the neutral had more of a brown undertone, and this is for a bathroom. And I really don't want to put brown or like a brownie beige in the bathroom, which is why I went more for the kind of, not terracotta, but the peachy side. I'm actually going to get a paintbrush and I'm just going to put this on the wall just to see what it's going to look like. Okay, I hope you can hear me. Let's... Ooh, I don't know. Okay. Ooh. I love the coverage. Okay. It's definitely... I think it's gonna work. Now, obviously, this is just one coat. I'll let it dry. We'll have a look. I think this might work. It looks very peachy in the, like, on the lid when it's wet. But on the wall, I think this is gonna be nice. Yeah? I'm just looking to see if I have paint details. It just says mid sheen, that's what it is. Opal mid. So I don't have, I know there was a colour number when I was looking at the chart. I picked it off one of the colour things. It just says opal mid. And I got a 2.5 litre because it's just a small bathroom and I'm just doing the floor. So that is my next project. I think I just need to sit with the colour. Well, I've committed because I've bought 2.5 litres and I ain't letting that go to waste. So I am committing with the colour. I have to. This is why we get tester pots. But I think this could work because that colour with the floor and then... So like those two together with that wallpaper, I think it could work in there. But anyway, it is, the downstairs bathroom is just a no Reno makeover plan. So we can, yeah, it's only paint. It was 32 euro. So it's not like I've committed with tiles or anything and it's like hundreds of euro. So it's only paint, but I think it's gonna work. That is my plan for the bathroom. I'm gonna just sleep on the colour, but I'm gonna have to do it. And I also need to get a bit of trim for this surround piece. So that is going to be probably my next project to begin. So we need to paint paper, change the light, and make the downstairs bathroom look good for May time, for my niece's party. So at least the downstairs bathroom, I mean, if you saw the last video, the floor is, yeah, in bits, and I just need to make it look nice. So that is my plan. That is my wallpaper, floor, and colour choice for the bathroom. And then in the next video, I will execute my plan. I will execute. Any tips for laying the vinyl floor? That's why I took the skirting boards off, because I was like, at least if I take the skirting boards off, I can lay that vinyl. I've never laid a vinyl floor before. And then when I put the skirting boards back on, it will look lovely and crisp and hopefully professional. But if you have any tips, apologies, I have paint in my hands. If you have any tips for laying the vinyl floor, let me know. I'll have to get a little spray glue as well and some silicone for around the toilet. So yeah, any tips, let me know. I'm gonna leave that there and plan when I'm gonna fit in getting this bathroom done. And I'll see you in the next video.